Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. Today we have our much-anticipated third annual Ruff Talk VR Gaming Award Show. And here's the thing. We were supposed to do the winners last week.
Yeah,
but
Mother Nature didn't like that.
No, and believe it or not, we just started getting some quick flurries of snow too. I was like, oh, now we're trapped this week.
She threw her 2 cents into it.
So,
we listened.
Delayed 1 week, but here we are with the winners of our 2023 Ruff Talk VR Gaming Award Show. And again, this is our third year doing it. Every year, some different categories. The other week, we list off our nominees, but today's all the marbles. Today's the winners. But right before we kick it off, I do want to give a shout out that Walkabout Mini Golf's newest DLC, Around the World in 80 Days, also much anticipated, is dropping this week, January 18th. I'm hyped for this one.
Absolutely.
Has there been a bad Walkabout Mini Golf DLC yet?
No, I don't know why I keep thinking every time I hear it, I think the 19th for some reason.
Nope, the 18th.
18th is a day earlier than my brain seems to want to latch on to, so it's even better.
And it completes the Jules Verne trilogy.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna.
People have been hyped about this.
Wouldn't say no if they did a James Bond one. There's a lot of different,
Oh, we could spend a whole episode just about hypothetical Walkabout mini golf courses that we want to see, both original ideas and IPs.
If we Nostradamus the thing and just made 100 predictions a day, then at the end of the year we'd be.
A couple are going to be right.
We're right.
That's a good point. Maybe we'll try to avoid going that round.
Yeah,
but
take away all their fun.
But besides Walkabout mini golf's new DLC course dropping this week, we also saw some other cool news last week. Like on the previous episode, we talked about how the Chromecast feature disappeared from the casting on the Quest. Well, it's coming back in the newest update. That didn't take long.
No.
So that redeemed quick. And also, we got news that the Apple Vision Pro is going to officially release on Friday, February 2nd, also the same day as our Ruff Talk VR Gaming Showcase. And what does that mean? The show goes on, baby. There ain't no stopping us.
It means you can watch it on your headset.
Yeah. I mean, if you're one of the fortunate bunch that can afford the $3,500 headset, which I'm pretty confident is going to be a kick-ass headset. So that's really cool that it's launching on February 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
Again, same day as our showcase, and stay tuned for that. Friday, February 2nd, 2024 at 1 p.m.
I'll be there.
Premiering on YouTube. We'll be dressing spiffy. You think we're spiffy today? You think we got a cool background today? Wait till our showcase. We got some nice tricks up our sleeve, to say the least. And last time, I kicked it off with reading off the nominees. So do you want to go first this first time? That way we hit it in reverse order.
Did you kick off last time or did I?
I'm pretty sure I kicked off.
Interesting. Okay. It's possible. But knowing us, it's totally wrong. All right. So first category we have is Puzzle Game of the Year. The nominees were I Expect You to Die 3, The Seventh Guest, Lego Bricktales, We Are One, and Call of the Sea.
Who's the winner?
And the winner is, this was a good category, really was. But the winner is for 2023's Puzzle Game of the Year is I Expect You to Die 3.
Ooh, from Shell Games.
Shell Games.
So well deserved. One of my favorite releases in total this whole year.
They do it smooth. But, there's some bangers on this list.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, The Seventh Guest, when you first went into it, you were like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Watch out.
I'm like, this is going to give Expect You to Die a run for its money.
Yeah.
For sure.
But in the end, the I Expect You to Die series is so hard to beat. And if they could, we know the development cycle of games is usually a couple of years. If they could somehow pump out one a year, they're almost a lock for Puzzle Game of the Year every year if it maintains that quality.
They are for now.
Yeah.
But that can change any. That's only one game release away from not being true anymore.
That's a good point as well. Yeah. But I do feel like 3 was their best yet. Also with music, puzzle innovations. So I don't know. I don't think they're
They
slowing down.
They get better and better.
Absolutely.
And what they had from day one was great. So,
Yeah.
nope, I congratulate them and the whole team. I expect you to die 3 as well as, 2 and 1, because without those, we wouldn't have had 3.
Let's be real. If you just got a headset for Christmas or just now, or you're a new VR user and you haven't hopped into the I Expect You to Die series, 1 is just as good in the grand scheme. Of course, 3 is our favorite, but 1 is like, if that released today, it would feel like a new release. It's aged so well. I recommend start there and build up. The whole series is phenomenal. So great stuff from Shell Games.
Mm-hmm.
And moving on with our next category, we have Sleeper Game of the Year.
Great category.
Yeah, this isn't just the category of which is the best game of the bunch here. This is what's the best game here that didn't get the amount of attention that it deserves for the quality of the game it is. So a bad game that didn't get a lot of attention wouldn't be on this list. And a great game that got a lot of attention also isn't on this list. So today, for Sleeper Game of the Year, we have Out of Hand, Survival Nation, Iron Strike, Mixture, Barbaria, and Gods of Gravity. For the winner of this is our first year doing Sleeper Game of the Year, and the winner for it, we have Iron Strike, a game that came out the same day as Assassin's Creed Nexus, a VR co-op roguelite game that is so much fun.
Yeah, I think probably the biggest hurdle was the release timing.
Mm-hmm.
Is tough when...
Oddly, that probably won them this award.
Yeah, but, the only one that I would say is probably questionable, and I think we talked about it before, was Barbarian.
Because it did get a lot of attention, but
yeah, it just...
That's a game that should have dominated charts as well. Like number 1 position, and for its release time, unfortunately, it was stacked against The Light Brigade, Ghosts of Tabor. There was a lot of good releases right in that little bunch.
Yeah, I remember when it went Breachers, yeah.
Right in that same month.
Once Breachers came out, dude, and because everyone knew it was coming, right? But then when it finally came out, you saw people gravitate right to it. And it's like, come on, 5-on-5. And if you have 5 friends with headsets, you've got yourself a little group.
That's both the best part and sometimes the hurdle that I don't feel like I get the full squeeze out of Breachers without that full 5 people that I coordinate with and I really enjoy to play with. But when you do, it's one of the best VR experiences you'll have.
Absolutely.
I mean, that reaches back to your Counter-Strike days. You instantly got that nostalgic edge.
If you're playing with the right team, it's definitely, it's in your advantage, than blind luck. Okay.
So the next category.
Next category will be the best updated game of the year, which could include the, DLCs in that, because those are considered updates. We're not talking like patch fixes and all that stuff. So best updated game of the year, we've got Walkabout Mini Golf, Golf Plus, Smash Drums, Gods of Gravity, and Beat Saber.
This is a tough one, dude. All of these games have delivered great updates this year.
Beat Saber's consistent, I think, until they're done making Beat Saber improvements and going after licensed music.
Golf Plus with licensed courses.
Golf Plus is unique because to look where they came from to where they are now for being a golf game is like they are networked in so well with PGA courses. It's like the sky's the limit with them.
Then Gods of Gravity, they've delivered all year long, and Smash Drums has come on so strong at this last quarter.
Yeah, they hit the scene good. I think it feels like it's kind of like, I don't know, it might come in waves.
But there can be only one.
Correct. So the winner of the best updated game of the year will go to Walkabout Mini Golf.
And the crowd goes wild. Definitely
I think it's hard to argue with what they've been doing consistently again, and everything being a lot different than things they've done before.
Their DLC schedule is aggressive in all the good ways.
And their pricing. Where they shine also is the affordability that they allow the consumer to have really good courses for less than a Starbucks large coffee, or whatever they call that thing.
And
Gigantonormosaurus.
Every course bringing something completely new. You look at Meow Wolf I think arguably their best course yet.
My favorite artistically done one.
And they're releasing
For
a new course 18 days into the new year. They're trying to take this award again next year, without a doubt.
Well, again, if they follow suit, where they think they have the edge on Beat Saber for doing DLCs so much is like Beat Saber mapping for arm movement, it, to me, is a lot different than the overall involvement and what it takes to build a world from ground up.
Completely new,
12
innovative.
12 or 8 times a year.
New course mechanics, yeah. No,
new balls, new everything.
Doesn't take
new
away from
putters.
what any of the others do, but there's something special about the Walkabout mini golf DLC.
For 2023, I would argue to anybody, they had the best DLCs and updates to their games.
Absolutely.
Or game
So on to
courses.
on to the next. We got VR Port of the Year, a category for games that were flat screen and got ported over to VR. So we have nominated Per Aspera, Power Wash Sim, Not for Broadcast VR, and Hello Neighbor VR. For the winner of VR Port of the Year, and this was a tough one. We debated. We went back and forth when we looked at our community votes. We actually disagreed with the community vote. I think maybe when we're done with this, we can read what everybody was the number one pick for each category from our community as well. But this is a port that we had so much fun with, completely made our mind explode with technical possibility, and it was just so much fun. Multiple endings. We have the winner of VR Port of the Year, Not for Broadcast VR.
Yay.
That one was so much fun.
Yeah, they all, I mean, this is the beauty. It's like everybody on the list from top to bottom here in any category. It's like every one of these is a great. So if you hear something and you're like, oh, I've never played it, trust me, if it's on this list, it's definitely worth trying.
And
whether they took the best or not. And it's objective, you know, like.
And let's be real, it's something we do for fun. And as you alluded to, every game on these nominees are a great game. You're not getting nominated if you're not a great game. So it's like, it's just something we do for fun. We have fun. It doesn't necessarily mean one game's better than the other and don't buy the other. Shit, if a game's on any of these categories, I'd say we recommend it.
I'd say for the most part, for any award show, you know, you can watch them simply for, what do I want to own next? You know, like if, you know, because usually you can just simply Google any of the games if you've never seen them and be like, oh shit.
These are the people that carry the industry right here. These are the studios and the developers putting it all on the line.
Pretty much.
So
pretty much.
I digress. On to the next, sir.
All right.
This
next
is a fun one.
this is good because new one for 2023. We knew it was coming, but I didn't think we'd be able to have as many on here. Mixed reality experience of the year. This year's nominees were Aspire 2, Drop Dead the Cabin, Piano Vision, Paradiddle, Racket Club, and Smash Drums. Each one bringing their own unique inclusion of the mixed reality space. And honestly, all should be rewarded for even bringing anything to the mixed reality space so soon. But Aspire 2.
Yeah. Next level.
Full functioning, you know, experience that is, you know, like way more than you'd think. You commented before, if it was its own standalone paid for game, it would make sense. So
it's freaking good. I mean, Aspire 2 as a game itself is great. And then this mixed reality mode is some of the most innovative I've seen. There's a lot of missions in there.
And if you have a big play space, even better.
You have
bigger is better.
You have a small play space missions. You have a big play space missions. I mean, there's some combat in there. There was one point where I'm crawling on my ground to get across.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
I'm like military crawling. I was like, this is hilarious.
I can't wait for when developers have access to better room mapping from the headset though.
Yeah.
So then they can take advantage of, because the way I'm seeing you're going to get the best out of any of these mixed reality experiences is really, you know, go through the trouble and preset your room setup. Where's your windows? Where's your doors? Where's your true walls, your tables, your TV? other miscellaneous shit I think you can add as well. But you have to do it or you're just not going to get the absolute best.
Mm-hmm. But wait till the day it's just simply put on your headset and all of that. Which granted it does scan now, but like you're saying, you don't get all those.
No, like I want aggressive. I want you to tell me where my carpet's made and shit. I mean, I'm seeing the value in
it. Yeah. I mean, and Aspire 2 is the ultimate tease of the possibility of how good it can
so
be.
Quickly too, man. That's important to note. We're not talking like, hey, mixed reality's been cranking it out for Quest 3s or.
No, this is. I mean, he had to have that in the works when there was only Quest Pros and Quest 2 black and white. That's risky to put that type of time in.
Gambled on it working and it worked.
Yeah. So again, if anybody hasn't tried Aspire 2 yet, highly recommend it. For one, the base game, amazing. And then with this innovative mixed reality, even better. So great stuff there. So next category, we'll do a couple more and then we'll take our ad break. Like I always say before we forget. But, on this one, we have Story of the Year. So Story Game of the Year, the game with the best story and also the most captivating, the best paced, the best balanced with the gameplay. We have nominees: Arizona Sunshine 2, Assassin's Creed Nexus, Hubris, Vampire the Masquerade Justice, Call of the Sea VR, Peaky Blinders VR,
Pike.
Pixel Ripped 1978, and Genotype. For the winner of Story Game of the Year, we have Assassin's Creed Nexus from Ubisoft. Great stuff. Amazing game. The whole game's fun, but it's
a long story.
Well, it's also balanced really nice. It's not too long that you're never going to beat it. It's not too long that you get bored with cut screens. It's not too slow paced or anything like that, too run off with dialogue. It's just balanced really nice. I'll give them a lot of props.
Yeah, I mean, I can't honestly and I mean, you can take these stories even more in depth. For there's the narrative story that they tell you, but then there's all the individual characters that you're going to meet along the way, and the historical fact relics that you can open up, and it's like.
You have your
Get the hell out. When the story is taking place in true historical time, they lose a lot of liberties to like the scenery and such of Boston 1776. It's like I feel like they did a great job of making that. I don't know.
Not just the visuals, just the whole immersion of it, the dialogue.
They did great, man.
Yeah.
They really did. It was good that there was no
the characters you meet in the story.
No shortcuts taken from them.
Yeah. That was a good one. And we definitely are doing it in the correct order because I know I did the next category last time on the nominees. This is
fair enough.
So this is part of the reason I wanted you to do it. I feel like I got some of our favorite categories when we listed our nominees.
Next year we'll be smarter, so we'll know that forward or backwards. We'll each get the fair share of the.
Yeah, we can arrange it, But on to the next.
Yeah, that was a good category. I'm really looking at all those games and just being like, damn.
Story Game of the Year, yeah.
Yeah, because think of it, if that's your style of gaming, there's enough out there right now to keep you occupied for a long time.
And again, we didn't include Asgard's Wrath 2 on this year's. So that's another great story game that came out this year. And also, there's not even AppLab games included on that either.
No.
So even more impressive.
Yeah, I can't wait to. Anyways. So next on the category list, we have co-op game of the year, which it puts a smile on my face, like a real smile, because the category is stacked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like as stacked as it is, there was other co-op games that aren't even on here. And this is a category that when we first started even playing VR, it was like, thank God AppLab came out soon after because there was just not a lot of co-op shit. So it's tender to my heart to have so many on the list. So co-op game of the year, we have Dungeons of Eternity, Iron Strike, Everslot Invasion, Hellsweeper VR, Survival Nation, Demio Battles, Battle Bows, and Gods of Gravity. And
drum roll, please.
The winner is Dungeons of Eternity.
Ooh, so well deserved there. I'm pretty sure that one won the community vote as well. Again, we'll read that off again at the end, but a highlight of what makes co-op VR great. Going in, quick run with your friends, get some loot, hang out, have a good time, call it a wrap, rinse and repeat, never gets boring.
Yeah, no, and they're keeping it lively. So there's been no shortage of.
There's actually just another update.
And their roadmap is not short, so it's even better. But no, I think well deserved.
They actually just put out another update too. They like balanced out the bats a little bit.
Yeah, everyone hated the bats.
Yeah, they made the repeating crossbow a little weaker too.
Fire staff is, I think, a little weaker.
Yeah, same with I don't think you can ice bosses anymore with the ice staff. So big changes. They never stop innovating, and like you said, their roadmap. We haven't even
take a little, you know.
Yeah. So,
but no, I'm happy for them.
Very well deserved for our Dungeons of Eternity. All right, last category before our ad break, we have PvP Game of the Year, and our nominees we have Demio Battles, Breachers VR, X8, Barbaria, and Gods of Gravity. For the winner of PvP Game of the Year, we have Breachers VR.
Yay! Yeah, I don't think that was a tough one to.
No. There's some that we really did spend a lot of time debating.
I mean, there's PvP and then there's PvP. You know.
No, great category. Loved all the games on it, but we had so much fun with Breachers. You know, Breachers is such a good PvP game. You know, a little restricted in that, like I said, I think to get the best experience, you don't need it. But for myself, I prefer it with 5 people.
You know?
Correct.
Yeah.
But it's such a good PvP game. So well deserved. One of the best releases of this year in total, you ask me. So I said that was the last one before our ad break.
Yep.
So we'll be back with you in just a moment from the sponsors. But like always, you know, I like to give a weekly on-air shout out to our Patreon supporters. Each month, you know, these people continue to support us. You know, they don't get sick of us yet, you know, but we'll try our best this next year with a bunch of content. Don't worry, it's coming. Great interviews and such, but huge prop to all of our Patreon supporters. We have Asim, Amelia, Earth Witness, Jake, Mike Morbid, Crispy, and Shoes. So thank you all so much for your continued support. Also, thank you so much to everybody that listens week after week, joins us on our YouTube live videos and all that, our live premieres, you know, all the people that engage day after day in our Discord server. It's a good little community we got going. So appreciate you all. We'll be back with you in just a moment after these messages from our sponsors.
Cheers to the new year from our friends at Manscaped, because your resolutions shouldn't be the only things that are well kept. 2024 is the time for new heights, new opportunities, and a new look for your Times Square balls. Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the next page of confidence for this year. Whether you're looking to maintain a trim or go for that clean-shaven look, this trimmer has you covered. Trusted by over 10 million men worldwide, now is your time to get a grip on your grooming with our exclusive offer. Go to manscaped.com and use the code RuffTalkVR for 20% off plus free shipping. Happy New Year and happy new balls. Introducing the MVP of 2024, Manscaped's 5th generation lawnmower. It's not just a trimmer, it's your grooming sidekick. Equipped with 2 skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. It's like having a personal stylist at your fingertips, or, well, whenever you need it. And did we mention it's waterproof? Because a trim in the shower is the only way to start the day. And for my men who want the full grooming experience, look no further than Manscaped's Performance Package 5.0. In this grooming kit, you get the trusted lawnmower, Manscaped's ear and nose hair trimmer, and essential aftercare products with the Crop Soother, ball aftershave lotion, and a crop preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant. As a gesture for the new year, they even threw in 2 free gifts, the Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag, because they know good, and well, we know you're still rocking your Boxers from high school. Let's face it, resolutions might come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay, thanks to Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. Because nothing says Happy New Year like a deal that leaves your balls and your budget feeling refreshed. Embrace a new you, and definitely embrace a new trimmer, courtesy of Manscaped.
And we are back. And also a shout out to Samson. He's on our Patreon, but not on the on-air shout-out tier. But
We'll shout him out anyways.
yeah, he threw a little
Call him
love.
out.
He threw a little love in the donation of the video the other
YouTube
last week.
video.
So I was like, all right, I'll give you a shout-out for the rest of January.
Whether
So
you want it or not.
yeah, so Samson, you're on the list,
Busted.
mofo. The way it goes. Yeah, no, YouTube's great. We got fully monetized on YouTube. We hit the 1,000 subscribers, the required watch hours, all that stuff. So you can donate when we do premieres, live videos. We have watch page ads and all that stuff, the whole shebang. So it's a party now.
Now we're one of those, just like everyone else's videos where you're like, why is there ads?
Yeah, well, YouTube, to my knowledge,
I get why there's ads.
I think they also put ads there. Whether or not you're monetized, it's just now they give you a cut of it.
Yeah.
How nice of them. Also, like I referenced at the start, stay tuned for Friday, February 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern for our first ever Ruff Talk VR gaming showcase.
Gonna be good.
This last 2 weeks has been,
Gonna be real good.
it's been the moment where it's getting real. All the trailers are coming in. We're seeing them all. It's like, there's been some sleepers that come in where we go, dude, that one was unexpectedly good. So it's going to be a fun show. Our first year doing it. I don't think it's going to be our last year by any means. So I'm so excited for that. Stay tuned. Friday, February 2nd at 1 p.m. So on to the next category. I left off with PvP Game of the Year. So you get to take it off next, sir.
All right. I got Strategy Game of the Year. Another stacked category. Goodness gracious.
I think all of them are stacked, but there's some of them like Story Game of the Year really stuck out. Co-op Game of the Year. Game of the Year.
Strategy Game of the Year. We have Perispera VR, Guardians Frontline, Demio Battles, Ghost Signal, Gods of Gravity, Barbaria, and Cards and Tankards. Cards and Tankards, such a good game too.
It is. That's another sleeper.
Yeah, but Strategy Game of the Year for 2023 will go to Gods of Gravity.
Ooh, good stuff.
Yeah, and that's one where I mean, they all bring their own element of strategy, but as far as you're playing the human element if you choose to do that.
Custom maps too.
Yeah. They've taken that game from
co-op campaign.
They're just
beyond custom maps,
going
custom
to the
runs.
moon.
Yeah, they did a great job. They continue to innovate in it, continue to bring new updates and gods, and I think now you can even create your own god.
Yes, to some degree, I think.
Yeah, they don't stop, man. Those developers over
they're crazy
at Gods of Gravity, so very well deserved.
Yeah, and like I said, if you don't have strategy going into it, you're just gonna get mollywomped.
And look, I loved all of those. Ghost Signal, I loved so much. I loved Perispera VR.
Perispera is great.
Oh my goodness,
Demio
so much
Battles,
fun,
dude.
Guardians Frontline, all of them are so good. So, but Gods of Gravity definitely deserves the win on this one. For the one that shows off the best strategy elements, it's definitely them. So, the next category. This is was one of those easier ones for me. I went into it knowing who I wanted to win, personally. Not all the categories were like that. This one, there was one that stood out the strongest.
I agree.
We have Sports and Fitness Game of the Year. We have, as nominees, NFL Pro Era 2, Samba de Amigo, Les Mills Dance XR, and Racket Club VR. For the winner, we have Racket Club VR. I mean, dude, they brought their own sport into VR.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it's great being a quarterback, though. I'm happy that that's a good one. Les Mills is, I'll still say Les Mills fitness app is probably one of the best there is in the VR world.
Samba de Amigo, come on, man.
Fun way to burn a little calorie.
Even though Racket Club VR to me was the clear number one, they were all great games for sure. But Racket Club VR, man, so much fun. Play it mixed reality, VR, play it singles, doubles.
It's a lot more fun than you'd think it would be, maybe by looking at it on paper.
High skill ceiling, too.
Dude.
Easy game to learn, very tough game to master.
Definitely, 1,000,000%.
But that was a fun category. You want to take us into the next one?
Yep. Next one is Best Action Game of the Year. Talk about a tough category.
Yeah, this is another one of those that stuck out as loaded.
So we have, for Best Action Game of the Year, The Light Brigade, Hellsweeper VR, Dungeons of Eternity, Barbaria, Genotype, Assassin's Creed VR, Drop Dead the Cabin, and Guardians Frontline. And the action game, Best Action Game of the Year is Assassin's Creed VR.
Ooh, that was a tough category.
There was some serious discussions taking place around this.
Yeah. And it's funny, we were playing VR games while discussing it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one that, like, while we were playing, we just kind of like both stopped and we're talking and we're like, but this and this and this. And it took a lot of debate to get to that one. But I think those ones that take a lot of debate, you can justify really well why it.
Well, I like when there's probably three I thought we could easily justify.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it even harder. It's like sometimes there's, well, we can cut out this one for this reason. We'll narrow it down. But then when you're stuck with like, dude, I don't really know, man. But no, Assassin's Creed, it's like things you can do in there. You can't argue.
Yeah. No, that was in terms of the action genre, which is not a term that you hear too much. We showed our age a little bit with this one. I don't hear people say action games as much anymore. But if you go on the store page,
old, dude.
It's still a game genre. And I think for the action elements, I think Assassin's Creed VR nailed it. So very well deserved. But on to the next, we have Best Roguelite and Dungeon Crawler. And I will interject real quick just to say, I celebrated it on Saturday, but it is worth mentioning since this episode is Monday, and that's the official date of it as well. Today is our podcast producer, Reggie's birthday.
Yay.
Turns 14 today.
I bought him a little stuffy to kill.
And he's already trying to rip the ear off. Yeah. I feel like any stuffed animal you bring him.
Kill a cow, dude.
He puts in damage on all of his little stuffed toys, but I feel like if it comes from you, he puts in extra effort to kill it ASAP. It's like the stuffing comes out.
If it's not an animal, though, I still see the ones down there that have gotten them. Yeah,
he's good at it. He's good at it for sure. So happy birthday to Reggie.
Good life.
Yeah, for sure. But we have Best Roguelite or Dungeon Crawler. We have The Light Brigade, Iron Strike, Hellsweeper VR, and Dungeons of Eternity. For the winner of Best Roguelite or Dungeon Crawler, Dungeons of Eternity. And the crowd goes wild. Let's be real. That was one of the best releases of the year.
Oh, 100%. The Light Brigade's no joke, though.
No. And Hellsweeper VR, dude.
Yeah.
That was a tough category.
I was going to say, this is another one of those.
For there only being 4 games in the category, there was a lot of debate on it.
Yeah, sometimes I guess it's not easier when it's less, but no, because there were none that like righteously. I didn't want to chop out of there.
Yeah, I know. You almost wish in some of these categories that you could give every game the win.
Well, yeah, I mean, dude, we even said it off air when we were talking about all this leading up to this. Was some of it almost hurts because you really I want everybody to win, man. But, everybody, in my opinion, does win. And again, these are just our takes and experiences to bring us to our conclusions. But every single one of these people are winners.
And I think that really shows in these final 5 categories we're about to read off. This is where, when we listed the nominees the other week, we were like, this is where it gets tough. And that's even more so for the actual winner.
Stuff gets real, man. All right. So I'm up.
Yep.
Okay. I almost don't want to be. All right. We have for 2023 Publisher of the Year, Fast Travel Games, Beyond Frames Entertainment, Andromeda Entertainment, Click Games, Oculus Publishing, and End Dreams. You see me doing this without my glasses, right?
Well, and that was a big list too.
Yeah.
Might have had to scroll down a little.
Tough category. Every one of these. We actually, I loved our discussions on this one.
Oh, and we flip-flop a bunch?
And I think at the end of the day, we were able to narrow it to...
There was 2 that we flip-flopped between.
Oh, my God.
We would make an argument for one, then we would make the argument for the other, and I swear every time we made the argument for each one, I was convinced that one was the right one to go
Yeah.
with. I was
No.
like, oh man, this one's
We were
hard.
able to narrow it down. So Publisher of the Year 2023 goes to Beyond Frames Entertainment.
Yeah, and that was a tough one. Huge shout out to all those publishers, but especially for runner-ups, I guess you could say Fast Travel Games with their aggressive publishing schedule. But
It's no joke.
in the end, the winner of the 2023 Publisher of the Year was Beyond Frames
Beyond
Entertainment.
Frames Entertainment.
Yeah, very well deserved, though. That whole list was stacked. And we have our next category, another stacked one. They don't get easier from here, unfortunately. I think every category as we go up now, it just gets more and more difficult. We have Studio of the Year. We have Resolution Games, Vertigo Games, Shell Games, Fast Travel Games, and End Dreams. Let's see. The winner of the 2023 Studio of the Year, we give it to Vertigo Games.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one. This is another one that we flip-flopped a lot. Like, let's look at the facts. Shell Games, we love them. Fast Travel, we love them. End Dreams, love them. Resolution Games, love them. We hung out with them at PAX East last year. But Vertigo Games had Arizona Sunshine 2, The Seventh Guest, Hellsweeper VR. I mean, it's just been a loaded year for them.
I think well deserved.
Yeah. Again, all those nominees, I mean, those are the ones that are really carrying a lot of the industry on their back when you look at the fact that most of them put out multiple great titles this year. So, I mean, huge props to all those studios, but the winner, Vertigo Games.
Yay. Okay. Next we have, I love this category so much, AppLab Graduate of the Year.
This is the final 3 categories, too. This is where it gets
So
all the marbles, baby.
we've got Guardians Frontline, and kudos to every single one of these games. We Are One, Paradiddle, Battle Talent, Gods of Gravity, and Cards and Tankards. And the winner,
I love all those games.
right? And the winner for AppLab Graduate of the Year,
I'm biting
moving
my
from
nails.
AppLab to the official MetaQuest store and riding that out to make the best possible experiences ever, goes to Gods of Gravity.
Very well deserved.
And you know, when you look at, they literally took something they were giving away for free, which is a pretty tough business model.
I mean, we've shared our thoughts on it.
And managed to ride it all the way to the official store, and have figured out a way, you know, hopefully that they're taking in a little bit of steady currency, but well deserved. Gods of Gravity.
You know what would win probably my adorable moment of the year in 2023 at Meta Connect when Scott Albright was on the panel of all the developers. They had him,
Yeah, I know what you're
Gorilla
referring
Tag,
to.
and then they did a Q&A in the crowd.
He was there.
And Jack from Trash Games for Gods of Gravity was asked a question, and the girl's like, "I know who you are. Introduce yourself."
Right.
It was probably
Wearing a Gods of Gravity t-shirt too.
It was so clearly Jack too. He's a very distinguishable human. You know, it's like as soon, even without the Gods of Gravity shirt, you would have known that was him.
Yeah,
But-
no, their studio's gonna. I mean, dude, they're so young. I mean, they're
Yeah.
just starting.
Yeah,
So kudos to them.
yeah, that was a great category. But the winner, Gods of Gravity, an amazing game. If you haven't checked it out yet, free to play. There's no reason to not. I mean, that founder's wall has only grown, but so well deserved from them. So the final 2 categories, we have AppLab Game of the Year, which I'll say it was all these games that are going to be listed are great. This one was a nice little break of difficulty in like a stacked, you know, we had difficult category for discussion. I think both of us knew our winner on this one, despite how good all the other games were. We have, for nominees of AppLab Game of the Year, we have Ghost of Tabor. Amazing that it's still on AppLab. It seems a league above all the games on.
No, they're doing it right.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Great
Yeah,
lesson
they're
for
doing
a lot of studios
Everything
to look.
right.
But we have Ghost of Tabor, Rooms of Realities. We have Quantar, Trackcraft, Call the Wizards, System Critical 2, Orbeats, and Twist X. For the winner of AppLab Game of the Year, we have Ghosts of Tabor from Combat Waffle Studios. That was a hard one to argue against.
Yeah, dude, it's like, come on, man.
I think my top two underneath that would be Rooms of Realities and Quantar. Two amazing AppLab ones as well. That I think those three of all the ones on the list are the three that deserve to go on the official store today, right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make that argument for System Critical too.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's on the list,
that's a good point.
I can't argue with them.
Yeah. But those are probably my
top three. No.
Those are probably, I mean, dude, we're having so much fun with Rooms of Reality. We've really savored it. We're down to the last mission on the last chapter. And it is just packed with hard puzzles. There's probably like, 5 or 6 puzzles right when you go in, and I didn't understand any of them.
Yeah, it's the hardest I've seen.
Yeah. So such a fun game. And Quantar, I mean, dude, what's our win rate? Like 97? Yeah, we kicked ass at Quantar.
I've lost once.
Yeah. And it's not like we've just played 4 games and, we played dozens and dozens of games.
Quantar's good.
But Ghost of Tabor from Combat Waffle Studio, I mean, if our game of the year wasn't restricted to official MetaQuest store games, I mean, Ghost of Tabor would probably win game of the year out of all the games listed there on the next category.
I don't see how it couldn't, because
correct.
You're talking about look at the size of the community. Just the community alone. I mean, people play games, and then there's people who play games. And those people who are playing hard, they're playing Ghosts of Tabor. And like you said, it's not out in the store yet. So let's see what happens. We heard 2024, it's coming to an official store near you. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. And, wait till, again, a hypothetical world where Grimm, Silent North are on AppLab. Ghost of Tabor is officially released on the store. You could see a world where Ghost of Tabor wins AppLab Graduate of the Year. It wins VR Game of the Year. And Combat Waffle Studio wins Studio of the Year.
We'll see.
Easily. But, let's see how the next 12 months go.
As easy as getting the product out there and it working well, and
easily from my perspective of talking about it. Not easy from
being perceived well by the community. Having to rebuild yet another community per game. They have a huge, not hurdle, because I believe they'll do it, but it's not going to be.
Yeah, it's funny for me to say the word easily, but it's hundreds of hours of hard work going into it, from dozens of employees. So, yeah. Winner goes to Tabor, though. Very well deserved.
But I won't argue with you. Perfect Storm.
Yeah, I can see that right. I'm not saying it for a fact it's going to happen, but I can see that.
And that's not just us. I believe that's going to be all the award shows or award
they already
ceremonies.
Won the AIXR Game of the Year, and there's no reason that they can't win it again next year if they're on the official store.
No, unless they got some rule you can't, but I don't think that's the case.
They might be the first one that makes it made, makes that rule
all right.
established.
So now we are on to the final category.
Yep.
Which is
all the marbles, baby.
VR Game of the Year.
Ooh.
And keeping in mind, this is MetaQuest headsets. This is not PC VR.
And specifically, like we said a moment ago, MetaQuest official store.
And none of them are flat screen games. So,
well, there's no restriction on that. It could be a port, but just by chance, none of them are. That's actually a good point.
Yeah, it probably won't ever be a port hidden Game of the Year. Although, depending on what version of, Grand Theft Auto is finally ever going to come. All right, so Game of the Year, currently 2023, even though we're in 24, but these were the finalists for 23. We have Assassin's Creed Nexus, Breachers, Barbaria, The Light Brigade, Dungeons of Eternity, Arizona Sunshine 2, Hellsweeper VR, Genotype, and Vampire the Masquerade.
This was a tough one. I think of all the categories.
How deep is that?
How long do you think we debated this one in total? Hours, just this category.
This was the longest debated one,
I think, in the history of our award show, honestly.
If you were to say, you gave yourself a deadline to have everything decided on, I would say up until
the deadline,
the final second.
Like I'm saying, we picked somebody.
The clock chiming.
Like we thought we had the picks. We went to bed. We both wake up. We're like, fuck, but what about this? What about that?
Well, and I like sometimes our process too is like we will play devil's advocate to just, can you justify this? Can you
Correct.
justify that? How can you justify this?
Dude, we put each other's thoughts through the ringer.
What would you do if someone sent you a direct message and said, how come this one didn't win? What's your response going to be? And I think we covered all the bases, but it was a wicked cool process.
Yeah. Again, I think that was our most debated and discussed category ever.
But VR Game of the Year goes to
Can be only one.
Dungeons of Eternity.
So well deserved. So well deserved. And again, like,
They made something magical. So
you look at games like Breachers, Assassin's Creed Nexus. I mean, there's a strong argument for those games as well. But for us, the game that showed the most what makes VR special, highlights the greatness of VR, takes advantage of VR, brings so much replayability, it was Dungeons of Eternity.
Yep. And again, definitely not knocking. We could probably do a whole episode on why we picked what we picked, but no, I'm happy with the way it came out, and I think everybody's well-deserved winning. So.
Absolutely. And I will now read off what each, was the winner by our community vote. Puzzle Game of the Year won. Got 71% of the votes, got I Expect You to Die 3.
Fair enough.
Sleeper of the Year, it was 33% of the votes was the winner for Barbaria. Best updated game of the year got 88% people voted for Walkabout Mini Golf.
Unsurprising.
So we matched the community opinion there. VR Port of the Year, I mean, we had a strong disagreement from the community here. They went 80% Power Wash Sim VR.
I get it.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Mixed Reality Experience of the Year was actually tied between two, with Drop Dead the Cabin and Racket Club, both split at 28%, 28.6%. So it was just a category that was just split all around. No one really led with a strong lead. Same thing with Story of the Year, was split between two games, actually, 42.9% each. We have Arizona Sunshine 2 and Assassin's Creed Nexus. And then the community vote for Co-op Game of the Year, we had Dungeons of Eternity at 77%. 62.
Wow.
Yep, for PvP Game of the Year, Breachers VR won with 62% for the community vote. Strategy Game of the Year, well, this is another one that we diverted from the community, I guess. The Strategy Game of the Year got Demio Battles with 62.5% of the vote. Sport and Fitness Game of the Year, Racket Club VR got 85.7%. Best Action Game, Dungeons of Eternity actually won the community vote with 33.3%. I think if people could, they would have voted Dungeons of Eternity on every category. It was just such a popular and loved game.
Thanks for showing up award.
Best Roguelite and Dungeon Crawler, 55.6% went Dungeons of Eternity. Publisher of the Year, Beyond Frames Entertainment won the community vote with 50%. So Fast Travel Games got 37% for number 2, kind of matching our split.
We thought.
Yeah, that's definitely, it was between them. All the publishers there are great, but Studio of the Year was actually a tie for the community vote at 37.5% each, with Vertigo Games and Resolution Games. AppLab Graduate of the Year, Paradiddle won the community vote with 37.5%. AppLab Game of the Year, the winner was Ghost of Tabor with 55.6%.
Nice.
And then Game of the Year matched us with Dungeons of Eternity, 44.4% of the people. Number 2 was Assassin's Creed Nexus.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see that there were some spots we really matched the community. There were some obvious ones, Walkabout Mini Golf, but there was definitely some strong sways too. But it was cool to see, what people thought.
I thought it was a great friggin' year, and I'm already excited about this year.
And underneath where we had people enter the questions, we had an optional like, hey, you got any categories you could think of for next year? And a couple people put actually community vote of the year or community game of the year. What's the community voted game of the year? So
I'm not upset about that.
Yeah, I think that'll be a fun
to
category for next year for sure. And like I plugged at the start, midway, I'll plug it till the end of time because it's less than a month away. We're half a month away from it. Our first ever Ruff Talk VR gaming showcase on Friday, February 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube.
Fire.
We're going to have a live chat. It's going to be so much fun. We have sponsors. We have video graphics ready to go for it. Come on, man. We're ready. Trailers are coming in. Just got the rest of them coming in this week. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
I can't wait for February 2nd.
Yeah. We're going to grab a nice pizza that night, too. I've never had a deep dish pizza, dude. And there's a spot near us
That's weird.
What, never have a deep dish pizza?
Yeah. It's flat out weird.
I wouldn't say weird.
It's weird.
There's people that never have sushi before. I eat sushi
We have Pizzeria Uno.
Yeah, you know what's funny? That's
Chicago style.
That's where Kelly said. She goes, "You got to go to Uno's."
Why would you?
I don't know.
Never try it.
I always got regular pizza.
Deep dish is good. If it's, dude, even Domino's does a deep dish.
But the spot we're going, it's really good pizza. It's like the only spot you go now.
Yeah.
The spot that
craft pizza. I go for the craft pizza.
It's funny too because if you just read all the adjectives, you'd be like, "I'm not going there."
Kind of snobs go there.
But they're really nice. They make a damn good pizza. They do New York style, New Haven style.
They have an award for best pizza in the state, dude.
In Massachusetts, if we're going to say that and people can find it, so might as well plug them. It's Casa de Pizza.
No. Oh, what are you doing? I don't want people going there, bro. The fuck?
Hey, they were on an episode of Dave Portney's Pizza.
I think he gave him a 7.5.
Something like that. He tried their New Haven style.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't. Try their New York City style.
I get the New Haven style.
New York City style cheese is so good.
I haven't gotten their New York City style. I've gotten their New Haven style.
Good. They got the Parmesan. They know what they're doing.
Yep. They load up the New Haven one with some nice basil on top too. It's so fucking good. Maybe next time I'll get the New York style.
If there was any benefit for them, if we were on like that huge local level, you bet your ass I'd be banging on his door for sponsorship. Be like, bro, be picking up that pizza every Sunday evening.
How thick is the crust on the outside of the, not underneath, but like the end crust? How thick is it on the New York one?
New York style?
Yeah.
It's fat.
It's
like,
fat.
Yeah, dude.
Kind of like the thinner crust of the New Haven.
But the base crust of the New York style is thin.
Yeah, because it's just the outer crust is nice.
Hey, you got to carry it in your hand when you're walking down the street over here. Slap you in the fucking face. You know?
So we'll celebrate an award show, either sobbing because it went bad or excited because it went great.
I don't care either way.
We'll be eating some deep dish pizza.
You think it's good? It's good.
Yeah.
Honestly, at the end of the day, that's,
Dude, if let's say no more trailers came in now.
It's good. It's fun.
It's a great showcase. So everything that's coming in this last week is a bonus. So thank you so much to the sponsors of the showcase as well. So far, we have Shell Games as the premier sponsor of the event. We also have Beyond Frames, Combat Waffle Studios. We have Impact Reality XR. We have Field of Vision. We have Walkabout Mini Golf. We have Thomas Van Bowel.
Yep.
This is a fun showcase. So I'm so excited to show it off. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube. That way you can stay the fresh with the latest and greatest from Ruff Talk VR. And you also get the showcase ASAP. And don't forget, join our Discord. Check out our Patreon. And don't forget to subscribe. Check out next time.
Take care.
Got a great interview coming this week. Our first one of the year, and I think it might be a contender for interview of the year. So, serious. Tell me I'm wrong.
It could be a bad interview, and it would be interview of the year.
Well, I said contender for when it's all done, but
it's a great interview.
It's going to be hard to beat. It's a good one. So, stay tuned.